The world can be a frustrating and cruel place. You should never expect to walk through life without hearing and seeing things that shock, offend, and disgust you. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Often, these offensive and shocking ideas take the form of harassment against individuals or groups. And people in certain groups are statistically more likely to receive hate than other people. For example, public figures and celebrities, by the nature of their inflated exposure to the world, receive way more harassment than other people. But even among those who aren't public figures, groups like women and LGBT people receive a disproportionate amount of harassment and bullying compared to other groups. And of course, the things that people say and the ideas that people share can have an effect on our mood and our emotional state. But at the end of the day, they're just words, right? They don't actually hurt anybody, right? Hi, I'm T1J.
Follow me.
So harassment and bullying is a big problem, especially online. And this problem is made even more complicated by the fact that certain types of people are disproportionately targeted, which calls into the conversation questions about prejudice and stereotypes and perceptions of certain groups, which is sadly more than I want to cover in this particular video, but maybe one day. So I think that most people agree that when harassment evolves into violence or stalking or other credible threats to someone's safety and well-being, that's something that we shouldn't ignore. But what about verbal or written harassment? While most people acknowledge that it exists and it sucks, a lot of people's default reaction is to downplay its significance. Because they're only words, of course. They can't actually hurt you. But there's several problems with this. First of all, I should point out that I think this is often said disingenuously. Like, there's kind of a movement in today's society that's trying really hard to normalize douchey behavior by calling people snowflakes or triggered or overly PC whenever they call someone out for being an asshole. And I think this is often that. People are like, get over it, stop being so sensitive, it's just words. But no, in my view, it's okay to call someone out if they've been a garbage human. And I think it's pretty harmful to make the assertion that it's unreasonable for a victim of harassment to confront or condemn their harassers, regardless of the nature of the harassment. Beyond that, I think this idea implies that emotional pain is somehow less significant or less traumatizing than physical pain, which is obviously ridiculous. Anyone who has ever felt depression or fear or anxiety or loneliness knows that those emotions can be just as, if not more intense than physical pain. And I think we should also be able to agree that sometimes words and ideas can cause those emotions. People can say things that make us angry or sad or anxious. Like when I read that Snake wasn't gonna be in the new Smash Brothers game, I raged. This also happens to be backed by science. Studies show that the same part of your brain that reacts to physical pain also reacts to social or emotional pain. In many cases, your brain literally can't tell the difference. It's also been shown that certain words, particularly words that reference or relate to pain or painful situations, trigger a pain response in the brain. Sort of like if you're at the doctor and you're getting a shot and they say, this might hurt a bit, this essentially makes the pain worse because it's basically telling your brain, go ahead and fire up those pain receptors. So if someone is sending you harassing messages about how you should kill yourself or how they're gonna punch you in the face if they see you, or spreading ideas about how your race should be cleansed or how you should undergo painful conversion therapy, this literally activates the part of your brain that processes pain. Harassment and bullying can also have long-term effects on the brain. I think most of us can agree that at least on a basic level, bullying can lead to anxiety and depression, and at the very least, stress. And I think most of us know that stress is really unhealthy, right? And it can lead to actual physical pain like headaches and stomach aches and muscle tension. It can also lead to behaviors that cause physical pain, like drug abuse or overeating or binge watching The Office on Netflix. And they're about to remove The Office from Netflix, y'all. Talk about an emotional reaction. What am I gonna do? I have never cared about fictional characters as much as I cared about Jim and Pam. I need my Jim and Pam. This is an outrage. Anyway, there was a study done at the University of Ottawa that suggests that long-term bullying actually caused teenagers' brains to produce excessive amounts of cortisol, which is a hormone that is normally released in the body in response to stress. According to the researchers, the overproduction of cortisol can actually affect your brain functions, most notably with your memory. So I think most of us who value not being an asshole understand that it's not cool to harass or bully people, verbally or otherwise. But on that same token, I'd say it's inaccurate and irresponsible to tell people to just suck it up because they're just words. Because the fact of the matter is that words and ideas can and do hurt, sometimes even more than sticks and stones. That's just me though. What do you think? Thank you for watching my video. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more discussions about social issues, current events, and pop culture. And if you like what I do, consider supporting me on Patreon. And remember, stay Heiko.